Artist Point in Yellowstone was effing incredible. That was outstanding. I really enjoyed it.
I just wanna hold you. I just wanna look into your eyes and tell you that I want you. You know you make me feel so alive. Can't stop thinking about you day and night. Love it when you kiss me, love it when we touch. Every time I'm down here, you make me smile. You're the solution.
Okay, Britta from the future here. So I didn't do a very good job of recording our time in Colorado. We were there for 3 weeks, and while there, it was one of the biggest sessions of work that Nate had of the whole year. We also had family visit twice, and I also have a friend that lives in Colorado, so we were very busy and sight saw a lot, but it was usually with friends and family. We went to Rocky Mountain National Park. We went and saw all kinds of cool animals. We saw moose, we saw elk, and we saw mountain goats, and it was beautiful. And we also went to Red Rocks Amphitheater, which was really cool. And I went on a bunch of hikes in the Rockies and overall had a beautiful time. But that's all we have. So we're going to continue right along to Yellowstone. Okay, so we're back in Yellowstone for another round of checking things out. Oh yeah, and then Yellowstone, we were also there for 3 weeks, and unfortunately, we lost a ton of footage. We probably went into the park 10, 12 times, and I have the footage of 1 or 2 of those times. So, luckily, it was very eventful, and we did a lot of fun things in that time, but this is all we've got. So, moving right along. It snowed yesterday.
A little bit.
In June. If you told me it was like December, January, February, I'd believe you. Which makes me wonder just how insane it's probably here in the actual winter.
Yeah, the lady at the coffee shop told us that they get like 17 feet of snow.
Like build up.
In the winter.
Yeah, that they have to like wipe away their windows or they can't see out their windows. It's so much snow. So it's June and it looks like a winter wonderland. It looks like Narnia, like a snow globe.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. But right now we're at a place called Isla Lake, which is on the Continental Divide, and it's a lake that it drains on either side in 2 different directions. So part of it drains to the east and part of it drains to the west. So we're gonna go look at it.
Yep. According to the sign right here, this used to have a cone and it blew up.
And now it's muddy and sulfuric.
Okay.
That's crazy. I can see why they call it a dragon mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, at first I thought it was like a truck driving, but it's... Nope.
I'm gonna hyperlapse of it in a second.
That's cool. So the plan today was to drive south in Yellowstone and go down to Tetons. But the pass and the southern entrance to Yellowstone is snowed in from the unexpected June snowstorm. So we are not going south. We are then taking the opportunity to drive around the eastern side of Yellowstone, and we're staying on the western side. So that's the plan. We just stopped at the Mud Cauldron and
The Dragon's Mouth.
yeah,
And
sulfur something,
It was called the Boiling Hillside was another one.
and the sulfur cauldron. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mud Volcano. That's it. Yeah.
Mud volcano. Yeah.
And so we are now heading on north on the east side of the park. And I think the Dragon's Mouth was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Because you could hear it.
It's a hole in the side of a mountain with a spring coming out of it, except the spring is a boiling sulfur, like volcanic heated spring.
Yep.
So you hear, and then a big cloud of steam comes out.
And it looks like a dragon's mouth. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I could definitely see why they named it that, whereas some of the other ones, I'm like, why are you named that? But it was pretty cool, and I liked it a lot. It's fun.
Pretty sweet place.
That is so weird looking.
Pretty cool. It's just a field full of like volcanic sulfur springs.
Yeah, the sign said that the sulfur spring is more acidic than lemon juice and almost as much as battery acid.
Yeah, all the rocks are like corroded.
Dissolved.
Yeah.
That's why it's muddy, because they're dissolved from the
Sulfuric acid.
Yeah, and then
acidophiles.
Yeah, and then it said that these hills over here in the distance are being pushed up by magma.
Oh, really?
That's why they're growing, from magma underground.
Liquid hot magma.
Yeah, how crazy is that?
That is cool.
It's stinky.
What happened to you?
Tell me about it.
That was great.
Tell me about it, Creeper.
That was probably the most picturesque thing I think we've seen so far.
On the whole trip or here in Yellowstone?
Probably in the whole trip for me, at least. I thought that the waterfall here at Artist Point in Yellowstone was effing incredible. That was outstanding. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really liked it too. I'm not sure if I'm gonna give it like most picturesque thing of the whole trip, but it was really good. So Yellowstone is my favorite national park.
It's not.
It is my favorite national park.
It's mine.
No.
I claimed it first.
No, it's mine.
No, we can't have the same national park.
Yes, we can. And I called it first. It's my favorite. You said I was crazy because I was calling it too soon.
No,
and then I was right.
You called it before you even saw it, so it doesn't even count.
No, I called it early in our trip.
At that point, it was no pixies. I picked it once it was available, so it's mine.
Anyways, I think it's the best because it is so dynamic. You'll be going through an area that's forest, you'll turn a corner, you have geysers and hot springs, you turn a corner, giant rock drop-offs, you turn a corner, beautiful river areas and meadows. It's the best. Bears. The only thing that I want to see still is a moose.
I want to see the otters. I haven't seen any otters yet.
Yeah, I feel like those smaller animals are definitely harder to see though, because when you're driving down the road, they don't just like stand out like the buffalo do. The buffalo are cool, but they make it very visible and very easy to see them.
It also doesn't help that everything is snowed under.
Yeah, that too.
If I was an otter, I would not. I wouldn't be hanging out in the snow.
Be hanging out in the river.
No, I'd find myself a hot spring. I'd be like cracking all the clams in my belly.
Do you even know if there's any clams in these rivers?
There's got to be mussels.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
That's very different.
That is weird. Our amateur geology opinion is basalt.
I know nothing about rocks, but I'm pretty sure I know exactly what's going on here.
Columnar basalt.
That's been eroded by the river, and it is the most unique
Weird.
geological feature I think I've ever seen this close. This is crazy.
That is Yellowstone gets weirder and weirder every turn you take. It's always different.
I like the strata though. That's cool because it looks like there was a layer of like columnar basalt, and then all of that flowed on top of it.
So we just read a sign that said that tree is a redwood, similar to what's in California currently, and it's from 50 million years ago. A tree, 50 million years, petrified. It's old.
It's pretty old.
Yeah. So we saw a badger. We saw a badger messing up a coyote.
The coyote was trying to get into the badger's house. The badger was not having it.
Like, the badger chased that coyote off. It was like, we could barely see it. There's probably not even anything, like...
It's probably about 100 yards.
Yeah, but like from the camera's perspective, there's probably very little that you can actually see. But it was pretty cool.
It was awesome.
We could see it enough with our eyes that we saw a badger chasing a coyote.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And he was digging dirt out at him.
Yeah, you could see him like,
Puffing, like a little badass.
like digging it up.
Yeah.
Reminded me of one of our dogs, actually.
Yeah. Bella Monster.
Yeah, like the water rushing.
Yeah.
What's crazy to me is that's all like a combination of minerals and algae
Yeah.
making that. That is crazy.
It's like the inside of Carlsbad.
It does, yeah, you're right. That's crazy. Maybe in a bajillion years, it'll, yeah. That section's orange, and that section's perfectly white.
Yep, and gray and brown. That's cool.
So we are now looping back home after a very long day of driving around Yellowstone. We've seen a lot. We had no intention of seeing most of Yellowstone. We had a lot of intentions of going to Tetons.
Yep, didn't make it to Tetons. There was a closed road, and we instead went over to the east side of Yellowstone, which was awesome.
Yep.
And we got to see all kinds of really cool things, and we looped back all the way around Yellowstone.
The north side, yeah.
So now we have made the entire loop. There's just a couple roads left in Yellowstone that we haven't seen.
It's just the transect in the middle.
And for me, the highlight of the entire trip, not just Yellowstone,
The
not
entire
just
RV trip.
entire RV trip, from things to see, was Artist Point, or Artist
Really?
whatever it was, yeah.
It's like the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone.
I think it was the absolute coolest, most beautiful, picturesque thing I've seen so far. Incredible.
That's great. I think that just like all of the geysers and stuff like that in general are pretty high up on the list because it's just, there's no other place that you can find them. And I would say the other thing would be, I really liked the coyote and the badger.
Yeah.
I liked seeing that a lot.
We saw a coyote and a badger fighting, and the coyote, I think, was trying to steal the badger's babies. The badger wasn't having it. So, yeah.
It was a lot of fun, so it was good. So we're on our way home now, and then we're only here for another week, so I'm hoping that if we have time throughout the week this week, we go down to Tetons, because we've seen most there is to see in Yellowstone. Not that there's plenty of experiences we couldn't have, but like, we've driven every part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, for me, the only thing that we haven't seen so far is the Grand Tetons. Tetons?
Yeah. That was, your southern came out there a little. Your southern came out.
But that to me is going to be awesome. There's supposed to be a giant mountain there that's almost a 14er, but not quite. And it's supposed to be really picturesque and nice and all kinds of awesome stuff over there. So, but one more week here, we'll probably have to sneak out of work one day.
To go to the Tetons.
And sneak over to the Tetons. And then we're done.
Yep.
On to Glacier.
Yeah, so we're doing Tetons maybe in the next bit that is in this video, hopefully.